This is a story that I have heard several times and that maybe you've also heard before. It's a story of a journey, crossing faraway lands, crossing languages and cultures. This is the story of a little girl whose parents came from a country far from where she was born. She grew up speaking Spanish, and until she started school, had never heard the English language. When she didn't understand what was being said around her, she started to read and read and read. And in this way, she learned to communicate with the world around her. And then one day, she saw herself in a book, in a story. And the story was about another little girl who was just like her. And this is what the little girl read. I like to tell stories. I tell them inside my head. I tell them after the mailman says, "Here's your mail." "Here's your mail," he said. I make a story for my life, for each step my brown shoe takes, I say. And so she trudged up the wooden stairs, her sad brown shoes taking her to the house she never liked. I like to tell stories. I'm going to tell you a story about a girl who didn't want to belong. And when the little girl in our story read this, she thought, this is me. This is my story. And born in her was the great desire to write and tell her own story. This isn't a sad story, and I know it's not a unique story. It's simply a story, and it became the reason why I wanted to write. Aside from writing, which I think is something that I'll always do, I want to be a translator or work as an editor or a proofreader. And so the following interview questions are about those careers. I believe in reading as much as possible about anything and in any sort of form. Some of my favorite publications are the Paris Review, the Boston Review, and some other literary journals. I also enjoy reading novels, literary novels, so anything contemporary, but ranging back from as early as Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. And I also I like to read my local newspaper and just anything that I have access to online. I think it's important to just be aware of different perspectives. I think it would depend when I received each project. So whichever project I received first, I would work on that first. It would also depend on the length and how much of each project is already done. I'd give priority, so I'd give priority first to the project I received first, the project that I will, that perhaps is more difficult, so it will require more time. And I think that whichever project I give priority to, I know that if it has the same deadline, I will do my utmost to make sure that they are both finished at that time. If someone said something that I found upsetting or that I disagreed with while I was interpreting, I would keep my opinion to myself. In that situation, I am an instrument, and my responsibility is to interpret and not to have an opinion, really, or to be engaged in a conversation with the person that I'm helping. I wouldn't let my personal opinion interfere with my work.